Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Hamda.
Hello, dear listener. How are you? I love you. Am I in love with you? I'm crazy about you. I can't quit thinking about you. You'll get drunk and email me in the middle of the night. Fuck off with your opinion, and I'm still here. So we got something going. Hamda, it's been 18 years of podcasting to help celebrate. It's the great Michael Shane Cannon. Hello, Mike. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Congratulations on 18 years.
Oh, stop it.
Your podcast can date Leonardo DiCaprio.
For a little bit.
Yeah, for another 6 years.
I got my blazer on, but man, this is hot. We did podcasting so we don't have to dress up.
Is that Curious George or a sweat stain?
It is Curious George, and I got it because MailChimp ripped off Curious George.
Nice.
So I don't feel like I'm necessarily wearing branding. I think it's cute.
I do too, especially on you.
Thank you very much. You could see other times the guests were on by typing in keithandthegirl.com/ and their name. In this case, you type in / Mike Cannon and see that he joined us 5 years ago now, Mike. Our relationship.
Look at that.
Wow. Oh, my goodness. You've been grooming us for 5 years since we were 13. That's really gross, Mike.
That is really gross now that you put it that way.
I see the first show he was on happens to be called Mad World. Other titles include Loose Cannon. That was a clever one.
Nice.
I'm sure we were thrilled with ourselves for that one.
That was my eighth grade basketball coach's nickname for me.
Loose Cannon. Well, we loved it.
Yeah.
And this is Making the Dad Emails book. The time he was on, the title is Father, Son, and Holy Shit.
Yes.
So I'm very excited about that.
That's outstanding.
Dr. Sarah says that's a 2 times doctor. My dad's 4 times doctor, so it's not a big fucking deal to me, but congratulations to you. He's a 2-time professor, 4-time doctor, full-time priest, father. Congratulations. Thank you all so much. I listen to every episode. That's sweet. Michael says, I've been listening since hearing an ad on Adam Curry's podcast. Yeah, when he took our show and said that he owned it.
Where's the noisemakers like he's Heyman?
Glad you didn't sign the contract. Thank you. That's a fun show to go back to. Assuming you're a VIP member, you hear every show we've ever done, keithandthegirl.com/VIP. Take a look. Google the Pod Show contract. That's about this Adam Curry who still has the balls to do interviews about podcasts. Check that out. Lex Kin, happy birthday to the best pod in the universe. Thank you. Here's to 18 more. All right, easy. How about, when you get so many candles, you go, here's to 1 more. Nathan rates, you're okay. Okay.
Keeping it real.
I appreciate it.
That's also an episode title. In fact, every sentence we say today has probably been an episode title over 18 years. And I think it's like 3,600 podcasts. Bananas.
Bad Beef, I'm seeing right here. Grateful for everything you both helped me through just by being a listener. And the dad saga truly reignited my passion for life.
Nice.
Wow.
That's a blurb.
I hate that should be in the back of your book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I hate giving your dad that credit because I see that sentence and I know he's giving you the credit, the show the credit,
Right.
Awesome guests that we had during that time, like Mike Cannon. But I know all your father will read is he gave you the kind of life that you should be talking about and have an audience for it. But no matter what the sentence will be, he'll hear that. So might as well have it be fun.
Well, people say that to me, that they're like, now you're making a book about your dad. Does that mean he won? And I'm like, okay. Well, then we all win. Great. He wins. I'm getting the checks. He wins.
I'll tell you what, he does not win a copy. I am not sending that guy a free copy. He has to buy it like every other person.
Hell yeah.
He has to buy, but I do want him to have it. So I'm going to send him a check to buy the book. So he has to make the effort.
Yeah. You know what you should do? Send him a Venmo request and it'll look like you're paying him. And he'll be like, wow, thanks, Keith. And then he'll just automatically click confirm.
He would.
Let's see here. Mimi Cherry, I joined the forums in May of 2006.
Wow.
It's only a year late. That's all right. And man, oh man, the memories over the years. Pal Talk chat, hottest listener contest. I was just jerking off to those folders yesterday. New Year's Eve in Vegas, all the different Keith and the Girl weeks. The cruise, the Keith and the Girl cruise. Holy shit.
I forgot about us in Vegas. I forgot about the cruise. We went on a Keith and the Girl cruise. We went to the Bahamas with these motherfuckers. No, we skipped the Bahamas. But we went to Cancun. I remember you guys. Yes.
Mexico, Canada, Israel, England.
Wow.
So much shit. Yeah, the tour, of course. The tour, Hemda, 10 days, 10 cities.
That's right.
What the fuck is happening here? Goodbye, everybody. Mike, good to see you. Let's get lunch.
Lovely. Did you guys get any Mexican Klonopin when you were in Cancun on a cruise?
Yes.
Funny you said that.
I did too.
Yeah, absolutely. What was it? Soma.
He ruined the show that night because he doesn't.
But you can't tell. It's such good editing. You can't tell when you buy the DVD.
Yeah, Brendan Saga. We went on a little cruise for a podcast and a radio show as well, and Brendan Sagalow and I are sober, in giant quotes, aka not drinking, but we will do anything else. And
he just did Mike on YouTube did a crowd work special where he's on 150 mgs of edibles. So
not sober at all.
So know that the sober is really in quotes.
Yeah, in giant cartoon quotes that may as well not exist. But so we took the Klonopin, and Brendan actually got like moderately assaulted by one of the listeners that night. Like an older lady jumped on his lap and gave him an unwanted lap dance, and he has zero recollection of it.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
on 150.
That was Mexican Klonopin.
Oh, Klonopin. Oh, I don't fuck with that. No. You guys are bold. No. No, Keith, what were you on? Was it Klonopin or some other shit or a combination?
Same thing, but it was Soma.
Soma. Okay. All right.
Nice.
But they tell you in Mexico it's the good stuff, so we have to be talking about the exact same thing.
I wanted to put this comment up on the board here because it comes with $5. So that's a super chat.
Okay.
You know what? 18 years.
18
we're
years.
Keeping it real.
But we don't have to give Mike some of that, right? Because it's $2.50 each.
You guys got it.
Okay.
It's an anniversary gift.
Keith. Come on.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Nice to Mike Cannon on the show. Yes. Heard you on the patron episode of Flagrant 2. Really enjoyed that stoop story.
This guy loves stoops. Always has, always will.
I got to be honest. I don't remember what he's talking about.
Yeah, this sobriety is so easy, isn't it? People ask how we do it.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't know. Coke when you want, weed often, and an edible here and again, and the Mexican Klonopin.
Booze
is a drug, people. It's a trick. It's peddled by the government.
That's right. That's right.
Now, what's this? What's in this needle?
Chris L is saying, remember when Chemda was scared of a dolphin? Yes. Yes, I remember. We have it. We do have it on film, right?
I'm kissing the dolphin. I'm like making out with the dolphin. Then it's Chemda's turn and she's running away. But the more you run, the more the dolphin thinks it wants you. It's almost like that dog that had attacked you when you played on a military base.
Yeah, exactly.
Dolphins are just as scary when they fucking chase you and with a mission. It's like, no, just stop. And like this dolphin was beaten to hug you. Yeah. Stop.
Well, and there's plenty of articles about dolphins' anti-woman behavior out there in the seas. So.
But you know what was the saddest? It was, I mean, that's definitely sad. You really see me going, nah, make it stop. I can't. I don't want to. It was terrible. But the look on the instructor's face, who was like, this bitch paid $100 for this, and she refuses to calm the fuck down. And I'm like, keep my money, please make it stop. And she was clearly, this has never in the history of kids doing this as well. This has never happened. And she didn't know how to process that. She's like, if you just let the dolphin kiss you, it'll stop. And I'm like, just like, man.
That's terrifying.
I know.
The instructor's like, you don't have to watch. Just stand the fuck still.
It's easier if you just lay back.
Yeah.
Look at my eyes. Well, thank you, everybody, for your support. Thank you, everybody that joined the community, helped spread the word, signing up for the VIP program, of course, a big deal, checking out our live shows. A special shout out to our chat buddies every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, keithandthegirl.com/chat. we say hi. I think that if you're newish to the show, the awards page I'm very proud of, katg.com/awards, and it's all the different award shows that we've had, the nominations, calling up the winners. You'll see it all there, very easy to get to. KeithAndTheGirl.com/awards.
Yeah, it kind of sums up, like, if you're new to Keith and the Girl, this is a lot of episodes. So those are fairly long episodes. Sometimes they're 3 hours, but there's a lot fewer of them since we only do them annually. And you'll be able to catch up with like kind of most of the stories that happened that were major over the years that maybe we'll reference.
That's actually our tagline. Keith and the Girl. You don't got to listen to too much.
Just catch the highlights.
Yeah. We should stop saying how many shows we have.
I know.
You should have a tab just called Cliff's Notes. It's just the highlights of each of your lives.
Right.
We should start a new YouTube channel and just put them in like they're just, oh, we only have 100 episodes. You know what? Even 100 is a lot. These are all bad ideas. Again, workshopping. That's what we do. 18 years in, we're allowed to workshop live. Chime in the chat if you want.
Do you think there's a person, though, that has come on recently and has fully caught up and or gotten close or diving into 100% of those episodes?
I think so. Yeah, there are people who, like, when they start, they keep listening to like the live new episodes and start with number one.
Oh, interesting.
That's amazing and impressive. But yeah, they'll binge the old ones and keep up with the new ones.
I do like doing that stuff because I'm a podcast fan as well. Like I have my favorites. I'm a huge comedy fan as well, and I've listened to YKWd since it first got here, Bobby Kelly, and I remember when both of you were on that show. Keith, you've been on a couple times,
right.
And it's interesting to listen back. Because then you're like, the first appearance of Dan Soder. It's like like a Marvel comic almost. And you're like, wow, this is so interesting that it kind of shows the career storylines intersect of all these people that you're a fan of.
Well, when Mark Maron came on, we had to explain to him, first of all, why he's going so far out in Queens. And second, what a podcast is.
Wow.
And like a week or two later, he started his podcast because we said, like, yeah, here's how you start a podcast. But you can hear him on the show going, how does this work? Like, what is this? And yeah,
that's awesome. So you guys should be expecting a check any day now.
You would think so.
From Mr. Maron. Yeah.
Quite frankly, a finder's fee.
Oh, and Kate H is saying that is what she does. So she started at, I don't know what number, Kate, if you want to let us know. And she listened to all the old episodes and the current ones. That's good job, Kate. We are in love with you.
I see in the chat here, people are naming episodes that they like. What are some iconic episodes was asked. There's the reveal of our breakup. Come to night dated, and then we announced the breakup.
Oh my God, that happened. I remember the cruise better.
Right. I think that's called A Whole New World. I think it was that one, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Was there ever any doubt that you guys would be as transparent as you are about that stuff? Like,
we knew. Well, looking back, we knew we'd even talk about the breakup when we first hooked up. So
actually, no. For me, no. That's why it's called Keith and the Girl, because I didn't think I would be revealing. But I think it took like a week.
Right. Well, I picture, Mike's, like, okay, I have a kid. I'm going to be straight laced. I could be sober. I could let 2 weeks go by. They don't grow up that fast.
I'm on a boat. What's a little Mexican Klonopin?
This is international waters, and he's not here. Gives a fuck. It was like that. Let's see. Chris says, anything with Jay Fodwell, of course. Mimi Cherry, do you remember the spooky era? It's funny. I guess there are eras, right?
Yeah. At this point, there are errors. Yeah.
And errors.
Yeah, I don't know how to say eras. It falls off too much. There are eras.
Right.
Well, isn't that funny? As like, and I don't know if because I'm starting to catch on to this stuff as just the longer that we all do podcasting.
Right.
But you guys are more or less like the Simpsons of podcasting. You've been going forever. You've seen all of these new
shows. And we're
shows.
still the same age. Thank you, Mike.
Exactly.
I know. It's weird.
Exactly.
It's like with cartoons. We wear the same thing every day, so it works out.
But you must be seeing the cycles of podcasts, of shows getting popular and then kind of running their course and then new shows coming and all that stuff. That to me is interesting because this is a brand new medium, and just to see certain shows that are so huge that you're like, well, I guess this is it forever, and then it changes.
And you're so right. And what's right about that even more is like, let's say it turns around every 3 years. Every 3 years, the media will be like, look at this podcast. Did you guys know about podcasting? These people invented it, and they're the first ones to get popular. And then it'll be like, they're the first ones to get this and the other. And it's as if like the rest of the history doesn't happen. And then I realize why fans of, bands that were their local band, and then that band blew up, and they were like, no, they didn't start with that album. We started with another album. So everyone who listened to us for long has to be that kind of like doucheball to be like, no, it wasn't Mark Maron. No, it wasn't. What's that? Nightingale.
I know what you're saying. Night Vale.
Night Vale. Mm-hmm. No, it wasn't Ricky Gervais. Like, no, it wasn't Joe Rogan,
Right.
And all these people came in a wave. So they are podcasting. They definitely now, I'm not taking anything away, but it seems to anyone listening to any one of those, the hardcore fans of them are like, yeah, this is when podcasting started. So it's everyone's own experience. We only have our own perspective, everybody, and this proves it.
Alyssa, one of my favorite moments on the show is the phone call with the supposed publishing or PR company or something where the caller didn't have a favorite book. It was like a reverse prank call. Yeah, my autobiography, The Great American Novel. There's these if you're an artist of almost any kind, music, anything, people, fake companies try to scam you, and they're like, we can make this book, we can do a resurgence of your book. I'm like, I don't think that's a word, but hey, you're not authors, you just resurge things. And of course you got to pay, and we realized it was a scam, and then I started talking to everybody in the office. If you look up literary on our site, something like literary resurgence, you'll find it. But yeah, ended up being a prank call that lasted the full show.
But see, the thing is I wanted to be like, you guys are scum, like, why are you doing this to artists? And Keith goes, please, you're fired. And he fired me on the phone.
That was sad.
And then he goes, please, can you just, at some point he goes, can you name any books that you worked with? And she kind of couldn't. Can you name a book? And she said Romeo and Juliet.
Right.
Oh my God.
And then he goes, can you name a color? I'll spot you orange. Something like this.
Right.
I mean, your recall of this is like incredible.
You don't forget that.
It's unreal.
Well, we also have a show called Q&A in our VIP program, and we're actually recording it today. So he goes back, now that we have 18 years worth of content, he goes back to every time we recorded on March 7th and re-listens to the first 10 minutes of all of them and one full episode, and we review all of those March 7th shows. So we were just reminded of this show probably where somebody, he reminded us, you said I spot you red or something like that. Right. So we're reviewing it a lot.
That's amazing.
Chris says, remember the strip club taste test featuring Brola? Yeah, we went to all the strip clubs in New York, from the shitty ones to, your $25 lap dance clubs, and we had to report back.
I thought it was literally about the buffets at strip clubs.
That'd be funny. No, we're not disgusting. We're just coming in our pants and reporting back.
Nadine is reminding us of the Salvia times where we recorded people on Salvia for KATG TV.
Oof,
Get that. If you have the Keith and the Girl app, it's free. VIP, you can see the Keith and the Girl TV. So much Kyle shitting in a computer. Not that Kyle, the intern Kyle. So much going on. Yeah, the Salvia was fucking funny. Yeah,
the all-night after shows were epic.
Yes.
Did you guys smoke Salvia also?
Yeah, and it really,
I didn't, but he did.
Yeah, it made Newsy, who Henda just brought up. He's pictured that he was in some kind of Mario type world, and he was jumping over a lot of walking or flying over a lot of rainbows.
Nice.
He loves Twinkies, and I go, hey, I have a Twinkie if you want. And he goes, yeah. And I'm like, I don't even move. I go, shit, we're out of Twinkies. And he goes, I'm like, and I don't move. I'm right in front of him. I found Twinkies. Yeah. No, they're done. Aww.
And here's what I'm doing.
Very fun, fast 5 minutes.
The salvia trips were so uncomfortable to me. I would just hide in the kitchen and cook, and when everything was done, I'd be like, dinner. I don't feel comfortable with that kind of drug manipulation.
Sure.
That's why usually I have to be in a room with people who are going to take it seriously, who aren't going to think it's funny to tell me there's my favorite thing and then take it back, who aren't going to play peekaboo unless they're really playing peekaboo. Judging, like if I want to do the dumbest shit, we do it.
Yeah. I'm right there with you.
Unless you don't want to, but we do it sincerely.
I have a hallucinogen rule, and it's also a weed rule, but it's all green lights. It's like no matter what, we gotta keep traffic moving, allow all thoughts, allow all ideas, allow all activities, no resistance. That's how everybody has a good time.
And don't take it personally.
Exactly.
I remember somebody was on salvia and they were shoved. They were pushed by forces. You know what I mean? From the couch under a table. I was pushed on my right side. I couldn't move my head to the right. What happened to you when you did it?
Me personally?
Yeah.
I smoked bunk salvia, I think, because it didn't work.
Okay.
Yeah, but I smoked changa, which is like DMT. It's a root that is soaked in synthesized DMT, and that was a really profound experience.
Let's talk about that for a second. First, Avocado said salvia trips happened when Chemda was still afraid of the marijuana. That's right. I was like, I am going to be in the drug-free kitchen where I will be adding too much sodium.
Salt's a drug too.
But DMT, sure. Keith, didn't you say you wanted to do, was it DMT?
Yeah. Well, Billy Wayne Davis came on the show.
I love Billy. He's so funny.
And said that in his stand-up also, he said he took a DMT pill and it only lasted like 5 minutes. And your head's going, what?
I didn't know
that's what I was going. I didn't either.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting you say that because I go, yeah, I'd like to do this thing where apparently you learn a brilliant kindergarten lesson, like be nice to people, but it takes 8 hours to do it and you're shitting yourself and throwing up. Share my toys, I learned. Okay, great. Sounds well, my mom died and I'm like, maybe now's the time I could still cry. Maybe something will come out of this. So I text Billy Wayne Davis, hey, we talked about how you did with Shane Moss, some kind of DMT pill. And I have the text.
As we do that, I do feel like, Keith, you need to do one of these major drugs before you start writing your stand-up that's coming up for April 15th. I think if you can't find DMT, do a nice bunch of mushrooms or something. You could buy them in stores now. Let us help you find them or whatever. And do it. Cry about your mom, process some shit, and I think a lot of funny stuff will come on the other end. Now, allegedly that will work, and I do not endorse you doing it. So if you get on some trip and it, fucks you up, it's not me. You decide what you do. But if you're taking thoughts, that's my
I'm not having problems like finding a breakthrough. I just wanted to see if the timing, something would come out of it. I really think I made peace with my mom's death when I saw her with dementia, pushing her wheelchair away from us, scared, not knowing where she was, knowing that death would quite frankly be better for everybody.
Yeah.
That was my funeral, But we'll
I have a question. Do you have an hour-long stand-up show coming up in a month that you have not started writing for?
That is correct, Mike. It's when you say it that way. You know what?
Dude, I love that.
Mike did a crowd work special. He was on drugs, supposedly didn't have any jokes prepared. All of a sudden, I'm wrong. You just show me it's fucking easy if you happen to be born with a brain like we do.
I think first of all, I remember when I first started doing stand-up, you guys, Keith, you were filming or recording something at Broadway Comedy Club.
Yes.
And it was your one show a year, and it was for an album. Yeah. And I remember asking, I was like, how the fuck are all these people here? Because Broadway Comedy Club is a notoriously barren place, especially on off nights. And then I was like, he only does it once a year. I was like, I didn't get like what was happening. I didn't know the show yet. I was just like, what the fuck are you talking
That's not
about?
normal, sure.
Well, but then I walked in and I was like, he's killing. What is this? He's killing. It clearly sounds like he's saying this all for the first time. And it's like all these people are so excited to see you. It was kind of a nice little breakthrough for me in terms of, cultivating your own audience.
Great. And it also didn't bother me that you were kind of hoping it sucked.
Of course. As somebody that puts in relentless work on stand-up, anybody who casually does it, I hope falls on their face catastrophically.
It is rude what I'm doing. It's like once a year I go, here's my one painting.
Yeah.
I'm going to charge you the same price Van Gogh does, by the way.
Yeah, it sells for 1.5 mil.
Yeah.
But you know what? But Keith never got mad at anybody for starting a podcast. I'll tell you that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Who are all these? Yeah, I get a lot of grief, of course, understandably, from stand-up comedians where I don't even want to say I'm a stand-up comedian. Jesse Joyce, great friend of mine, is like, you're not a stand-up. I'm like, I just said good morning. Okay, I don't care. I just got to tell people what to expect when they see me, and it's going to be me standing up, telling jokes. And this word kind of conveys that idea, but I don't mind. Call it a memorized reading with improvisation. I don't care what you fucking call it.
That actually
I just need people to know what to expect. That's all.
Can you please call this hour a memorized reading
with improvisation?
Yeah, that's so strong.
Then in parentheses, some things I'll forget, but bonus things will come. Yeah.
That's the extra track. ACM is writing, the mic at that Broadway comedy club was the filthiest mic I ever saw in my life. Yeah. Crud on crud ick.
Yeah.
There was I think it was Can You Imagine is the name of the album. And I believe that's the one where somebody's phone went off in the audience. So I pretended I was upset. And the whole audience heard it. It can't be denied. And I just go, fuck. And I act like I'm going to leave the stage and I bang my head on one of those speakers. And then because I don't edit, throughout the show, you see this Mikhail Gorbachev fucking birthmark on my head get bigger and redder. And
oh my God, that's like a Chevy Chase committed pratfall.
Yeah.
That's why he has back problems.
I'm like, no, I can't be dizzy now. Shit.
Oh, one time. What was it? Was it the last time you recorded? Was it Drip? It was Drip Drip. And
Drip, and then I'm Dating Your Mom. Drip was the one with the busted roof.
So we had a busted roof and an actual drip in the middle of his show. He had to stop and then pick up wherever the fuck he was. This was the most seamless. You know what, Keith? Like, all praises. That moment, I was like, God damn, because you have to be shitting yourself on stage. And now you're doing the rest of your one-time stand-up with shit in your pants. I mean, it smelled bad, but I mean, and the title, Drip Drip. Hello.
And yeah, it got to the point where somebody had to stand under this drip with their hand because the garbage can with washcloths in it was still making too much noise.
I tap danced.
I can't do this again. We have to do it right now. Why? I don't fucking know. It's like I'm giving myself my own test and I'm going to fail. No one's asking you, Keith. Don't worry about it. Now I got to. Do you want to? I'll be happy when it's done.
I love that. I love it. It's like not training for a marathon.
What is it? What are these albums? Like We Want a Legacy? Like, what is it? Because there's so many famous comedians that don't do albums, which is strange.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this a lot lately because with the speed of entertainment and like how quickly things are forgotten, like even iconic people, iconic movies, iconic whatever just kind of gets lost in history at this point. And so you really have to, and by you, I mean me, I really have to want to like create for the sake of creation and to like really just want to get my ideas out and be as authentically me as possible. It has to be some sort of inward goal because if you want to be remembered, that shit's out the fucking window at this point.
Right. Here's the text. It's me trying to find this DMT pill. I texted Shane Moss. I texted Billy Wayne Davis. And just because he eats all these fucking plants and gets fucked up. I included Mike Kaplan, almost like it's a reference.
Nice.
Who doesn't like Mike Kaplan? I go, so it seems Shane Moss is in charge, right, of these drugs. He's the drug king. Hi, Shane. Keith from Keith and the Grow Hair. I heard Billy Wayne and Mike did DMT pills as opposed to ayahuasca that makes you shit and vomit. I want that, please. I've CC'd them for references. And Shane writes, I believe there are some places in D.C. that sell things like that very openly. I don't know what else to tell you. Now, what would you do, Mike? Do you kill yourself right then? Do you have to steal their phones and delete them? Like, this is now it's embarrassed. Now I'm just embarrassed.
Yeah, that would make me potentially drive to wherever whoever sent that lives and potentially drag them out of the house and beat them up on their front yard. I can't handle being that embarrassed.
Right. I go, thanks. Let's just end it. Thanks. I kind of hope you get it. I don't mean it.
Yeah.
Because you didn't say nothing and I said thanks.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to write the end.
Ugh.
So I go,
that reminds me.
So
Mike Feeney
helpful.
reacts that way when people ask him for YouTube advice. He's like, I don't know, man. It's too late. I don't know what to tell you. And it's like, well, I'm just asking for help. I just want some goddamn help.
So then Shane, so that he keeps things kosher, gave a smiley face and wrote, hope all is well. I would like to try that as well. So now the pill that a whole album is based on, I have to get, and he would like some.
Yeah.
Okay. I said, now I'm losing my shit. I was trying to let it go. And I wrote, you never did it? Am I sounding crazy? And Shane said, I had a couple opportunities, but the timing was never right. I am curious. So I go, what did Billy Wayne do? And then I type, Billy Wayne, what did you do? Is your phone not fucking working? Then Billy Wayne writes, I can't remember. It was a while back. But maybe DC has those things you're looking for. You did an album on the drug. You made videos of like you were talking to a spirit. It's edited. It's CGI'd. It was about a drug that you took with Shane, who's thanked in the credits. The fuck? But you would like some if I find it? You talked about it for an hour on a podcast, but now I'm the FBI?
Yeah.
Now I would, he's booked again next week, I believe. I would recommend re-listening to the show and maybe taking a clip, whether you're right or wrong.
I'm right.
I think said clip should be played.
Okay.
For clarity.
For clarity what? The clip of what? That he has an album about doing DMT in a pill form?
So that your only proof is not you going, clarity what? Clarity what?
I don't have to prove nothing to these weird fucking liars. You're not doing me extra work. You kick me in the balls. Now I have to do extra work for you. Believe it or don't. I was there. We were all there. You did it and you made an album on it and you thanked Shane because you also said you did it with Shane Moss. You said that. He goes, maybe that's what you're looking for. I wrote back, Billy, goddammit, you said you did it with Shane. Billy wrote, can't remember what Shane it was. Shane wrote, haha. What the fuck is happening? Is it April Fool's? I said, you can't remember where you had a beautiful epiphany that fame isn't important to you if it's not important? That was his deep thing. He goes, you're going like it makes any fucking sense. He learned that, hey, if I don't really care about fame, then I don't have to do it like it's my job. So I'm like, do you remember that? Where can I get mushrooms that kill me right now? Because Lord Jesus. Then Billy Wayne said Oregon. And I go, Shane, have you ever been to Oregon? That was the end of it.
Keith is so emotional.
I love it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Anyway, that goes right.
Because being passionate is more manly. But...
That goes back in the folder, the Shane Moss, Billy Wayne Davis text. You got to stay organized. 18 years. You can lose track of shit.
Oh, you're like the Joan Rivers of podcasting.
Thank you. Yes. Would you like to hear about refrigerators? This one's running. Go catch it. Yes, I'm that old. I wrote it.
It's like Bobcat meets Joan Rivers.
I sound different now. Yeah.
We posted pictures of like some Keith and the Girl stuff, and one of the pictures is Keith holding a shit, like what looks like a whole ream full of and now it's papers and newspaper clippings and stuff, and he's just going through them. And I have to imagine that we took that picture after a couple extra days off, and Keith accumulated this much shit. We have to cover all of it. So when he asks why with the albums, because he started, it's like he wrote the autobiography. Now he has to write a book every 10 years to catch you up on his life because he started it, right? He started a podcast. Now there's almost 4,000 episodes. When he comes back from vacation, it's not like he's going to skip that part that would have happened if he wasn't on vacation. It still has to happen. And the album is like the documentary of his life in stand-up form that he has to continue. And it won't end until he dies, because he has to let out. Before this, he was blogging. Every day he would come home and talk shit about everybody who was nice to him that day. They thought they were just having a friendly interaction. Boom! You made the blog.
Yeah, and I couldn't do stand-up during COVID. I mean, you guys could. That's your fucking business. I respect people. But I felt I couldn't. And now it feels like I can't use that excuse anymore.
Sure.
And that's everybody's fault, because you could have acted like you were still sick and shit, But
Can
we're
I
all
ask,
given a gift, Nobody's taking advantage. Everybody's putting on makeup. It's 2 weeks into the pandemic. Fucking idiots.
Can I ask who you're hoping to leave all this to? Because now at
my
this
dad.
point,
My dad.
you want to go before him and then force him to listen to the whole thing.
He has to listen and read the book.
And then and only then will he know me.
Right.
Because I've been thinking about that too. My son likes the fact that I'm a stand-up now. He's only 3.5, so it's kind of like he just likes the idea of comedy and jokes and stuff like that. But eventually he's not going to find it cool at all. So even the idea of me leaving any of my work to him is like, yeah, thanks, Dad. I guess now I'll catch up every once in a while. Who gives a shit?
Do you want your parents to leave their work for you, or the money the work made? I don't remember.
Sure. Well, with me personally, I would have loved to know who my parents were.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, I would have liked my parents' diary. That's what I would have liked, and I think that's what these albums are. Quite frankly.
That's what it is for me too.
I would have liked an open dialogue, but we just
sure. I would have liked them not to dig holes in the middle of the night. Sure, yeah. I mean, now we're older, we know what we would have liked.
I'm building my son's bed right now, by the way. He just got a big boy bed for the first time in his life. And he's 3.5.
Okay.
Yeah. Because he had the toddler bed that's more or less just kind of the crib that's been repositioned and configured, but he's huge. So his legs are popping out the sides and
dude,
barely.
My son's huge.
He's just a
check
big
out my
alpha.
3.5-year-old.
It is the giant alpha 3-year-old, dude.
Of course he's huge. Look at me.
But I have never felt less capable with my hands than since the first time I fingered a girl. I am so clueless with what to do. It feels pretty befuddling.
Do you feel like you have to put together the bed?
No, I want to though. My wife typically, she's the handsy person. She knows how to do everything. She puts up the shelves, hangs the TV, all that stuff.
Oh,
she is
so you're
far more
trying now?
Yeah, I want to see if I can do it.
Is she I don't want to call it
Italian?
being good, but is she sort of letting you do it, or is she not that?
Yeah. She's totally cool with me doing it. She's like, yeah, but because I'm capable. I'm just anytime that there was manual labor when I was a kid, I got screamed at relentlessly. And I was more or less my dad's nail pouch. I would just stand there and hand him screws instead of.
Oh, so you're working through trauma with this. This is huge.
Yeah.
And then your son's going to pee all over it and not give a shit.
That's right.
And you're going to be like, that's my kid.
I'm like, dude, you better appreciate this. I took 4 cry breaks.
He's like, Dad, I'm not interested in anything about you because you're willing to tell me, and that makes it not an issue.
Exactly.
Draco Raknar. Oh, is that like Jakar?
Oh, I like that.
Jakar Noir, which I was never able to say. So this is
he can't either. He probably works for the company.
Jacquard Noir. Anyway, this is my first time ever watching KATG live. I can't believe I've missed out on a decade of Chemda's facial expressions. It's like a whole extra show within the show.
She does not hide her facial expressions, and when a guest says something that it's like you see her eyes change, and the guest is like, "Oh fuck." Those were the words I said, weren't they? Of course, her face
I've had a
is fantastic.
lifetime of disappointing females, so it's not. I don't even react.
But do I do this in real life too? Because I feel like I do. Like I don't think I'm extra emoting for the show.
It feels authentic to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not to Keith though, but he doesn't know me. What would he know?
I think this might be more, and I'm not really sure, but it might be more because you're making sure, for lack of a better word, when it's your turn to talk, where in real life you would jump in and go, wait, what? But here you're like, I'll let you finish your sentence, but what are you trying to pull over me right now?
I think what you're saying is I need to be more engaged here in my approach.
And then I go, Ken, it seems you have a thought. And she's like, no, not really. I was wondering, how's that your kid if you've been with her for 3 years and blah, blah, blah. So you just no, nothing. You just said something that makes me think it's not really your authentic child. That's all.
I would never say something like that. Your authentic child. I get it. We're live. We'll go with authentic child.
I like that.
So when you have your kid 3.5 years old now,
yeah,
do you find yourself saying deep things to the kid as if it's registering somehow? Like, yeah, when you're older, of course you can jerk off, but remember those women aren't real, and we respect people.
Yeah,
what do you say that's not really taken?
I've been having existential conversations with him since he was born. It's actually it's been very important to me for me to talk to him like this since he got here.
And to have a background of Mozart. Oh,
yeah, right. Mozart mixed in with a little Drake, but every once in a while. But I've always talked to him like this because, again, like I said, I'm the pendulum swinging the other way. So hopefully he then finds a healthy medium of communication. But my parents didn't talk to me at all. I am now overly expressive and communicative with my son. I've been talking to him like this truly since he was an infant. And, my wife's Italian family, they're like, he doesn't understand you. And I'm like, yeah, I got this. Thank you. I'm good.
But he understands your hand gestures more. And so I have to overcompensate.
He likes my face, my hand gestures. And right now we're having actually a conversation about an ongoing conversation about nuance, because he's very intensely obsessed with good versus evil. And he doesn't watch Batman or really any superheroes, but he loves superheroes. He loves the action figures, the costumes, everything. So he's like, is it a good guy or a bad guy? Is it a good, all that stuff. And a really good superhero that we've been discussing lately is Catwoman, because she is both good and technically a bad guy, where she makes poor decisions, but it's based on some things. She also helps Batman out.
Based on some things. You have jewelry. She wants it.
That's right. But it's also trauma. She has a tough life. She's been put through the ringer, so I understand. Sure. But we've been talking
I understand
about
why you have to rob the Met.
Yeah, we've been talking about how there's no such thing as fully good or fully bad.
My brother Michael is like that with his kids, and he's got one that's just over 3 also, and one that's like 6. And he'll listen to songs, and then he'll start dissecting the words with them. And they got to the lyrics, something like you're all alone, but you're by yourself, but you're not alone. Mm-hmm. And the kid was like, what do you mean? And he sat and taught him the nuance of poetry and how you think about it. How are you alone? How are other ways that you're not alone, but you are alone? And they were just like these big thoughts of you don't need to do that, but he loves it.
I think it's an important way to get them thinking outside of the norm and all that stuff. Is my mom was really good with that. Like she wasn't very like she wasn't very capable of the back and forth, but she did. Like anytime that I was a very existential child, I was always worried about death for some reason, but it was like from such a white perspective, because I was like, nobody will see my gifts.
People who say I was an existential child, I picture like this darkness in your eyes, and I picture your mom waking up in the middle of the night and you're just staring at her, like that kind of kid, and like or like wondering about a knife for too long, or like doing weird shit with ants. Like how does your mom not be scared? You know, like you saying things like, if I kill you, would I have another mom? Like that kind of shit. Which like
would a new mom grow in your place?
Yeah, do I get another one? Does one come out of your vagina like she's a child and that's my mom? Like, I don't...
Like a Russian doll of mothers?
You're the one telling me that, like, a life is in your belly, you know? I don't know what happened. Well, anything could happen.
I told my mother something even more troubling, is because I was obsessed with reincarnation and that idea, because I didn't want life to end. You know, I just thought it was important that it continued. And at the same time, my mom got me books on that. I was learning about the civil rights movement in like 4th grade. And I was hit very emotionally learning about it. Like it was really upsetting to me. And I came home and I told my mom it's because I am Martin Luther King Jr. reincarnated. That's what I told my mother when I was 9-10 years old. And
then she yells at your dad and she's like, because you had to say that Superman's bad sometimes. He's an idiot now.
That'll teach you to buy a book for a kid.
Wait, was that right before the drugs, or?
That was pre-drug. I didn't start drugs until I was 20. Yeah.
Oh, so then once you took drugs, you were like, oh, these are just regular thoughts.
Yeah, regular thoughts that I've been told were wrong because of Irish Catholic.
Because they scared the shit out of everybody.
Yes, that's right. And now I make money from them.
I think if I have a son, I think I'd jerk off with him, right? Because he's going to do it anyway, and I'd like him to do it where it's safe. What are your plans?
Yeah, it's like smoking a first joint with him or sharing a beer.
Have you had the drug talk with him, even though he can't understand?
No, that I haven't really spoken to him about. But he does. He knows what alcohol is, and he knows that it's an adult thing, and he's not allowed to have it.
How won't you assume if he hangs out with when he hangs out with friends? Yeah, I didn't hang out with friends. If I wasn't allowed. So we'll assume he's normal and we'll hang out with friends. Will you be able to help yourself, do you think, thinking, I remember when I was hanging out with friends, literally, we all jerked off in a room when their parents were gone. Literally, you know, if there's a car with a key in it, I'm going to get in it. Are you nervous about any of this stuff, or there's nothing you can do?
No, I just don't. I'm not going to get in the way of his life. And I think some of the most fun parts of my life and the most story worthy are difficult and troubling times. So that's going to happen whether I step in the way or not. Life is going to fuck him up and traumatize him. The only thing I can do is provide as much support as humanly possible, and also communicate with him through it and be like, hey man, I'm an open book. I'm an outlet for you. Any question you have, nothing is judged. I'm right there with you. So.
And all new parents need to understand, your kid won't grow up knowing he's able to fight you if you never fight him.
Right.
My Cannon's talking about growing up and beating the shit out of his dad. I'm like, I didn't know you can fight them, because my dad at least knew. I was raised like a pussy, but my dad at least knew. He saw in my face when I was getting paddled with one of the encyclopedias that it didn't hurt anymore. It's almost a joke. And he knew I better fucking stop.
Yeah. Well, it's also
because but your dad, he'll throw a punch and then it's like, oh, okay, I'm a person and I could do this back.
Yeah, I had an argument actually with an audience member because I was just talking about like getting hit. You know, when I was a kid, I got hit, and they're like, yeah, and I was like, oh, you think that's good? And they're like, yeah, it works. And I was like, yes, it got me to listen, and now I need to be choked to come. I was like, it works in a lot of different ways. I was like, it'll probably get you what you want, but it might have some residual effects that you're not comfortable talking about.
And now I need 50 new dads. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you picture you'll do drugs with your kid, or is that off limits?
No. I mean, maybe when he's in his 20s and 30s, I'll like smoke a joint with him, but that's not of interest.
Well, I didn't mean 16, 18.
No, I know, but I know parents that are like that. I know, once somebody makes it into high school, they're like, "All right, you're old enough. Let's get hammered." It's like, let's relax.
Do you get nervous seeing all these? I see all these things on Instagram, Reddit. There's so many threads called "Kids are fucking idiots." I love them all. Do you see those and be like, "Oh shit, he's gonna end up painting our sofa"? Like, what could the next thing be? Because there's gonna be something.
It's relentless. Like everything is a shock. I actually am doing a pretty good job at letting go of control with it, because I'm just here. I'm here to be his like bowling bumpers, just to keep him on the lane. You know what I mean? Right. So everything else, the specifics of it, I could worry myself to death very easily, or I could just kind of take it as it comes. And I'm trying my hardest to do that.
I think like if I was a parent and then I heard somebody say, it's not in what way you messed up your kid. Yeah. It's what did I or did I not mess up my kid? It's how did I mess up my kid?
Yes. Yeah.
Right there. That's enough for me. No, thanks.
Let me ask you this. Let's say your child is like 46, 47, was cooking with, and I don't know why they make these, a plastic spatula. Mm-hmm. Spatula got too hot, melted on his hand. He's calling you going like, holy shit, this spatula melted on my hand. What do you say?
Say, call a doctor, you fucking idiot. I don't
know.
Did
they ask for help, Mike? Did they ask for help? Maybe they just want to be listened to. Have you ever had this stupid problem with your wife? And by the way, it's not even like Kyle was complaining that I treated it bad. It's more Hemda I'm talking to that's trying to give this stupid non-advice. She's talking about how when somebody complains about something, usually it's the woman, and then the man wants to solve it, and it's like, no, I just want to be listened to. And I'm saying, what? That's so stupid, because you don't know. It's case by case, person by person. And sometimes they do want advice, sometimes they don't. There's no way to know. And Hemda thinks there is some way to know. That's what she was getting at. But I loved your answer. That's the smartest fucking thing. Of course. No, I'd wait until they said something. I was reading a story today about a woman. She was pregnant. She had her baby. She didn't know she was pregnant. Yeah. I'll give you a little more information. Didn't know she was pregnant. The husband knew and didn't tell her. The husband felt kicks and didn't tell her. What? Now Hemda has a face, as per. and she's shocked, but the woman didn't ask for help.
That's not help. What are you going to babysit
tell you there's a
child?
baby in you? What is it?
That's what you call help?
I'm not saying he's going above and beyond.
What is help?
Doing things. Telling you to take burnt plastic off your goddamn fingers. That could be help. Is that help now? Is that a favor now? Is saying get burnt cream a big favor? You owe me last week. You should pay for dinner, because I did tell you about burn cream last week.
Okay, I'm sorry. This person why wasn't he telling her?
Here we go. A 27-year-old woman claims she had no idea she was pregnant until she gave birth in her bed. But according to her fiancé, he felt the baby kick when they were in bed together.
No, he's
just didn't tell her.
Thinking I'm not dumb. He doesn't want to be called out like, you didn't even see that she was pregnant. Like, she could be dumb, but he's throwing her under the bus. Like, yeah, this bitch didn't know. I totally felt the kicking. Bullshit. BS. I call BS on this guy.
He said, I was there emotionally, and if she wanted info, she's a grown adult. I don't need to force my help onto her.
Okay,
it's implied. This isn't a quote per se. But.
I finally can tell when you're not reading.
18 years in.
It's when he memorizes the second half and then delivers it directly to camera.
I have a teleprompter. Emily Graham said she woke one morning in January with period stomach cramps, which she initially blamed on constipation. I told my fiance that I didn't feel well and I had stomach pains. I then went to the toilet thinking I could have been constipated or something. He's just going to let the wife go in there and maybe drop the baby in the toilet, Like, that's when she asks for help.
Shallow water birth.
I sat there for a while and I was just thinking, oh no, this isn't period pains. So I went back to bed thinking it would just pass and woke up 10 minutes later.
What would pass?
The pain. The period
pain. Not the baby? Okay.
Well, she doesn't know about a baby. She doesn't know about a baby yet. Then she went back to bed. That's when she had the baby. Let's see. He started Googling things and said, you could be pregnant, because you don't want to force too much help upon somebody. About 90 minutes later, she said she felt the urge to push. I needed to push and thought, oh God, I think I'm pregnant. 27 years old. When I was lying on the bed and my partner said, oh yeah, I think you're crowning. Even then he won't say. He's like, you could be crowning? Like there might be, honey. You check. It's your body. Not my business. I think there's a head coming out of your pussy. Maybe.
That's unbelievable. I don't know. I've personally watched what being pregnant has done to my wife's body and like to her insides and how she felt every single change. And I cannot imagine somebody just not keying into any of that. But like, how awful must she feel on an everyday basis if like that is not changing, if nothing in her felt the shift? That's tough.
I don't know. Maybe she's not feeling a shift somehow, but her belly must be a little different. No, a little.
Yeah, you could be crowning, or maybe you're hangry.
Maybe you need a Snickers.
No, you're crowning, I think.
If you can promise me that is how my pregnancy will be and my delivery, then I will have a baby. Then I'm going to give it to someone else. But
yeah,
I'm not doing that unless that's my experience. Oh, am I pregnant? 9 months. I'm in lip. The baby's here. Oh, that's so funny. I didn't even. What a surprise baby. I love surprises. Thanks.
You ever seen the movie Jack with Robin Williams? And and I think it was J-Lo's first movie. But that seems like an ideal pregnancy too. She was like 2 months pregnant. They were at a Halloween party. She's not showing. And then all of a sudden by the end of the party, she's full 9 months giving birth. And it's like, dude, if you could go through 9 months in one evening, that seems pretty ideal.
Yeah, but you don't need that fidgety adult baby as your child.
True, yeah, your baby has hairy knuckles.
Her partner managed to call an ambulance, and the paramedics got to the couple's residence in time to help deliver the baby, a girl. I delivered it in the home of my bed, then I went to the hospital. If they arrived 2 minutes later, my fiance would have been doing it, and he's like, I gotta say something. I can't deliver a fucking baby. What's taking so long with your brain? The first night at the hospital, I didn't know what to do and was worried, but it just kind of comes naturally, I would say. After the first night, I was fine. It was at that time that Graham's partner, Ash, dropped the daddy bombshell saying, I felt the baby kick when we were in bed together.
No doubt.
He does all that and then can't help himself at the end. By the way, I knew. Just fuck it. I can't keep it a goddamn secret.
Yeah.
You know what he's like? He's like the people that you talk about, Keith, that you used to work with when you were a waiter, and they can totally tell the future. And you're like, well, why don't you just play the lotto? And they're like, yeah, I totally should. Yeah, you always knew it in hindsight. You are so smart. Nothing gets past you. And there's no way you wouldn't know that your partner was pregnant for 9 months, because you can't be that
oblivious?
Whatever you're like, I guess oblivious, but she didn't even know. So I think he's just trying to like protect himself from looking stupid.
It's just so hard for neither of them to know, because even like if they had sex once, then you can kind of feel what's happening in the body. Like I have a bit about it, but the most troubling part of pregnant sex was the fact that my son would like slam his hand out of my wife's belly while I was holding her, and it'd just be like it was just a weird like baton passing.
Did he ever push your dick out?
No, he didn't, but he did blow me from inside.
Oh my goodness. You're like, honey, the way you're pulling on my what?
There's like a mouth inside of you.
Thank you. No. Meanwhile, the retailer worker said she exhibited no symptoms of being pregnant, adding that she drank at her work's Christmas party. Nobody needs to know that. She also jetted off to Florida, took 3 rides on Universal Studios' Jurassic World Velocicoaster, It launches riders up 70 miles per hour in 2.4 seconds. Well, good luck on your new baby milkshake. Anyway, it's a shame your husband never told you.
What if they did know, they just wanted to ride the roller coaster, and now they have to be like, I did have weird burps that day.
Graham added that the only change she noticed was the fact that she went up a couple of dress sizes, but merely chalked it up to overindulging during the holidays. Those were long holidays this year. Despite being thrust unexpectedly into motherhood, Graham said she wouldn't change it for the world. No, not the drinking, Mom. You wouldn't change it, not a thing. God doesn't make mistakes. I love surprises. I adore my husband for being a goddamn weirdo. There's nothing I would have changed. Not knowing if I'm dying or giving birth. I wouldn't change a fucking thing, to be honest.
You know what? People need to find a new thing to say like, yes, this isn't how I wanted it to happen, but I'm happy where I am right now.
Yeah.
Instead of like, it's exactly what I get it. It is exactly what needs to happen.
You should be saying, I'm embracing reality.
Right. He caught me. It's actually not his baby, and I cheated with the neighbor, but we discussed it, and we wouldn't change a thing. Actually, now he would drive me to the neighbor's house before he went to his football games. Nearly 30 schoolgirls have been hospitalized in Colombia after having anxiety attacks playing with Ouija boards. Oh, boy. Poor girls.
Is it a Catholic school? Please say it's a Catholic school.
Definitely.
It's funny that nobody believes, like, people. How many people do we know are spiritual? That's spirits. How many people believe in ghosts? But then I guarantee anybody that heard this went Ouija board. That's fucking stupid.
Right.
So do people really believe?
If you go to church, you believe that a dude is actually God, but was killed, but then came back. That's a ghost. We go to heaven, we go to hell. All of these are very spiritual, same as a Ouija board, same as tarot cards.
I know. I mean, I know we go to church and we're told about Abraham was told to kill his son, but on the news, if a woman says, God said to drown my baby, we don't think for a second, I'd love to have heard of that conversation.
Maybe that's in the next Bible. Like,
we
why
know
are
it
we
never
writing
happened.
this down?
I know.
There are 28 girls had anxiety because of the Ouija board in Colombia. And it was because some funny guy kept switching the lights on and off when they knew what room it went to. The girls suffered signs of fainting, anxiety, and other symptoms. They
haven't felt that way since they were 6 and they had a sleepover and dad told ghost stories. This is like the 12-year-old version of ghost stories, you fucking flip each other out. Like, oh my God, it's real. Oh my God, it is real. Ah!
Yeah. You got to confirm that it's real, though, because, Ouija is like the intro to ghosting. If you then bring out Monopoly and you get the thimble to pass go by itself, then, yeah, it's a real ghost. You got a situation.
Yeah, check if the ghost wants to play other games with you.
Exactly.
You start with Ouija, that's the door opening, and then you play Yahtzee with it.
And don't wake daddy.
Nadine is saying, I'm not sure what this goes to. God's his own father. It makes me think I picture God in heaven walking around and being like, easy, I'm suicidal.
Oh, that's funny.
You know these drama kings. Come on. Let's see. The girls suffered signs of fainting, anxiety, other symptoms. There was some. There's way too many words. You get it. They were in the hospital. What could the last sentence be? Probably not that fucking important. All right, that's it. Mike Cannon, what should people know about you? Come on, tell them. Don't be shy.
March 15th, I'm coming to New Westminster, British Columbia in
March,
Canada. Yes, this month, and then
this month, March 15th, New Westminster, the House of Comedy, right?
Yeah, House of Comedy.
Okay. Then the 17th, and I'm talking.
All right.
Then the 17th and the 18th, you'll be in Seattle, Washington at the Hereafter.
That's right.
I know.
You know those things.
Yeah.
And here's a scenario podcast with myself, Mike Feeney, and Brendan Sagalow.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Who do you like the most out of those two? Who do you bet
Me.
easier flow? You.
Me. Yeah.
Okay.
Good for you. Put the mask on yourself first. Fuck them.
That's right. I don't care for either of them, to be perfectly honest.
How do you think we made it 18 years?
Yeah,
we go,
exactly.
excuse me, it's me time.
That's right.
It's me time, and then you'll get some too.
I can't help you if I'm not getting oxygen.
Right. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for sharing the show. Thanks for clicking any button in front of you on whatever platform you're listening to. It's been a great 18 years, and we're going to do it again tomorrow. Thanks, Mike. Thanks for being part of this.
Absolutely.
Peace.